My wife abandoned our kids and spent thousands of our money on hotels with her affair partner. When I confronted her, she said, "I already gave you 17 years. Just be grateful." I just stared at her. That was 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, she sent letters apologizing to our children. I am the sole provider for my family of 6. My wife is a Sasham and hasn't worked since our eldest was born by her own choice, and we've been together for 17 years. I wake up at 5:30 a.m. Take the dogs out, prepare the kids' lunches and snacks, ensure all school essentials are at the front door, then head to work. Kids are picked up for daycare school at 7:30. Due to after-school activities and clubs, they're not home until 6:30. My wife doesn't take anyone to their clubs or activities. I come home at 700, make dinner most nights, help with homework, do bath time for the little ones, do dishes, take the dogs out for longer walks again, and put the little ones in bed. If the house is a mess, I clean it. I pay for everything: mortgage, bills, insurance, groceries, clothes, toys, technology, after-school activities, dates, and a woman to deep clean the house once a month. With our household running smoothly, we've each found time to pursue personal interests beyond parenting duties. When she announced plans for a 2-week vacation overlapping with my rare visit to my brother demanding I cancel my trip because she needed a break, we argued heatedly, and I refused to budge. Taking a sick day, I stayed home while the kids went to school. My wife appeared around noon, initially criticizing my absence from work before asking what she could do to help. After bringing water, she disappeared to take a phone call, then repeatedly insisted we go out despite my developing migraine. I declined her suggestions for shopping and nail appointments, attempting instead to discuss our relationship issues. She dressed up and left without locking the door, ignoring my request to talk. Following advice I'd received, I terminated our cleaning service while she was gone, parting amicably with the cleaner. My wife returned at 8:30, demanding dinner shot when I told her to prepare something herself since the children and I had already eaten. She left again, returning with McDonald's only for herself, which upset our youngest, who wondered why Mommy hadn't brought her ice cream. My wife blamed me, claiming I'd forbidden it, which took considerable restraint not to dispute in front of our daughter. That evening, I presented my concerns about our unequal household responsibilities. She listed laundry, feeding dogs, appointments, and grocery shopping as her contributions. I countered that I prepare the dogs' meals while she merely distributes them. I handle laundry folding and distribution, transport children to appointments, and put away groceries she orders through an app. Visibly shaking with rage, she retreated upstairs. When I followed, she was on the phone and ordered me to sleep on the couch. I refused and got into bed, prompting her to hang up and physically attempt dragging me out, resulting in a confrontation that ended with me on the couch to avoid waking the children. The following days brought similar tensions. I stopped handling her laundry while continuing to care for myself and the younger children, with the older ones managing their own. I cooked only for the kids, telling my wife to prepare her own meals. My eldest son, possibly aware of our conflicts, asked to walk the dogs with his friend during the week. He's been distant with his mother and repeatedly asked if I love him, which concerned me deeply. I've assured him nothing could change my love for him, though he's not ready to discuss what's troubling him. Thursday evening, knowing I'd leave Friday to visit my brother, my wife suggested we share a drink. I had one, but felt immediately drowsy and wanted only to rest. I declined, feeling exhausted from the day's events. As we prepared for bed, the tension between us was palpable. I woke up Friday morning and my wife was gone, so was her suitcase. I've texted and called, but there's been no answer other than a text telling me we'd talk about it when she's back. She ignored me and went on her trip regardless, and I am furious. I have left her some cash in the bank account. She has the card too, but I've removed everything else into another account. I had to call my brother to explain why I wouldn't be coming to see him, and he arrived here on Saturday with my nephew and 2 nieces. The house is very full, but honestly, it feels more open than it has in a long, long time. The kids seem relaxed, and so do the dogs. I don't know what will happen with my wife, but I am done. My brother Donald took one look at me Saturday morning and pulled me into a bear hug. I hadn't realized how much I needed that until I felt my shoulders shaking. He patted my back while his kids ran past us into the house, their excited voices filling the space my wife had left empty. My youngest daughter launched herself at Donald's legs. He scooped her up, spinning her around while she giggled. My other kids emerged from various corners of the house, drawn by the commotion. Even my eldest son, who'd been holed up in his room since his mother left, came downstairs. Donald sat my daughter down and surveyed the scene. All right, troops, your dad needs some help getting this place shipshape. Who wants to earn some pizza money? Within minutes, Donald had them organized into teams with his own children. They scattered throughout the house, picking up toys, sorting laundry, and wiping down surfaces. I stood in the kitchen watching the chaos unfold. The house hadn't felt this alive in months. My phone buzzed. Another text from my wife. Hope you're enjoying babysitting duty. See you in 2 weeks. I deleted it without responding and shoved the phone in my pocket. Donald appeared beside me, grabbing 2 mugs from the cabinet. He knew where everything was. He'd helped us move in 8 years ago. Coffee? He didn't wait for an answer, just started the machine. Kids seem good. They're adjusting. I rubbed my temples. The headache from Thursday hadn't fully gone away. My eldest keeps asking if I love him, won't tell me why. Donald frowned. That's concerning. Has he said anything else? No, just keeps his distance from where his mother usually sits. Won't even use her favorite mug. The coffee maker gurgled. Donald leaned against the counter, crossing his arms. You mentioned feeling drowsy Thursday night after 1 drink. Yeah, knocked me out cold. Woke up and she was gone. His frown deepened. That's not normal. Before I could respond, my daughter ran in. Daddy, we found Mommy's papers in the trash. Should we keep them? My stomach dropped. What papers, sweetie? She held up a handful of crumpled documents. I recognized them immediately. Bank statements, insurance forms, even our mortgage paperwork, all torn from the filing cabinet in our bedroom. Donald took them from her gently. Good job finding these. Why don't you go help your cousins with the living room? She skipped off. Donald smoothed out the papers on the counter. Several had coffee stains, others were ripped. My hands shook as I sorted through them. She tried to destroy our financial records. My voice came out hollow. Not tried, succeeded with some. Donald held up half of our insurance policy. You have copies? Digital ones? Yeah, I gathered the salvageable documents. Why would she do this? Donald's jaw tightened. Same reason she drugged you Thursday night. She's planning something. The word drugged hit me like a punch. I wanted to argue, to say my wife wouldn't do that, but the evidence stared back at me from the coffee-stained papers. My phone rang, the kids' school. My chest tightened as I answered. Mr. Johnson, this is Principal Martinez. I'm calling about your children's absences last week. Our records show your wife called them in sick Tuesday and Wednesday. She said they had a family emergency. The room spun slightly. No emergency. They were definitely at school. I packed their lunches those mornings. Silence on the other end, then carefully. Mr. Johnson, can you come in Monday? We need to discuss this discrepancy. I hung up and found Donald watching me. She called them in sick, apparently. I slumped against the counter. But they went to school. The bus picked them up at 7th Outer, like always. So where did she tell the school they were? Donald's voice had an edge I rarely heard. Family emergency. I laughed bitterly. What emergency? I was at work. She was home doing what exactly? My eldest son appeared in the doorway, his expression guarded. Dad, is everything okay? Just some confusion with the school buddy. Nothing to worry about. He didn't look convinced. Is it about Mom calling us in sick? My blood ran cold. You knew about that. He shifted uncomfortably. She made me promise not to tell. Said you'd get upset over nothing. Hey, kiddo, why don't you show me your room? I brought that game you wanted to try. My son glanced at me. I nodded. They headed upstairs, leaving me alone with my thoughts and destroyed documents. I spent the next hour on the phone with our bank. Several unauthorized purchases had appeared on our joint account. Expensive jewelry, designer clothes, charges from hotels I'd never heard of, all from the past month. How had I missed this? The bank representative explained each charge patiently. A necklace for $800, shoes for $600, a spa day for $400. The total made my stomach churn. Since it's a joint account and your wife made them, that would be difficult. You could remove her from the account. Already in process. Can you freeze the card immediately? One small victory. I hung up and found Donald in the backyard with all the kids. They'd set up an obstacle course using lawn furniture and pool noodles. My youngest daughter rode on his shoulder, shrieking with laughter as he pretended to be a horse. The scene should have made me smile. Instead, I felt hollow. This was what our weekend should look like. Family, laughter, chaos. Not me discovering financial betrayal while my wife vacationed on money we didn't have. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Thought you should know. Janet, Janet, my wife's best friend who lived across town, the one who always gave me cold looks at school events. I saved the number and typed back, "Thanks for letting me know." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, "She says you're abusive, that you control all the money and won't let her work." I stared at the screen. I begged her to get a job for years. She refused, saying the kids needed her home. I never questioned it, just worked harder to cover our expenses. "That's not true," I typed back. "She's very convincing, has bruises on her arms." My hand shook. Donald appeared beside me. "You okay?" I showed him the texts. His face darkened. "She's setting you up for what? Custody battle, divorce, making herself the victim?" He screenshot the conversation on my phone. "Document everything, every text, every call, every strange charge." The kids ran past, my nephew chasing my daughter with a pool noodle. Their laughter felt distant, like it came from another world. A world where mothers didn't abandon their children and spread lies about their fathers. "Uncle Donald," my eldest son called out, "can you help me with something?" Donald squeezed my shoulder. "Start a journal. Write down everything you remember from the past few months. Every fight, every strange behavior, every time something felt off." He jogged over to my son, claiming she'd been at Janet's. The weekend she insisted I take the kids to my mother's so she could deep clean, but the house looked the same when we returned. The way she'd started locking her phone, changing passwords, closing laptop screens when I entered the room. How had I been so blind? The front door opened. I found our former cleaning lady, Maria, standing in the entryway with a box. "I'm sorry to bother you. I found some things that belong to your wife." "Johnson," she glanced around, then leaned closer. "Your wife had me do extra tasks, things not in our agreement." "What kind of tasks?" "Mailing packages, picking up items from strange addresses, always when you were at work." She pulled out her phone. "I kept records for my own protection. Would you like copies?" My mouth went dry. She sent several photos to my phone receipts for shipped packages, addresses I didn't recognize, photos of items she'd been asked to retrieve, mostly documents in small boxes. "Maria, what was in the packages she had you mail?" I never looked, but they were heavy, and she always paid me extra in cash to not mention them. Inside were more financial documents, some jewelry I didn't recognize, and a second cell phone. My hands trembled as I powered it on. Password protected, of course. Donald found me staring at it. Second phone, apparently. "You can't stay here alone with the kids while she's spreading lies about abuse." He gestured to the phone. "She's been planning something for months. You need witnesses around you." My youngest daughter ran in. "Daddy, I'm hungry. Normal routine. I could do that." "What do you want for lunch, Princess?" "Grilled cheese. Coming right up." I made lunch for 8 people, assembly line style. The kids chatted and laughed, my brother's presence making everything feel almost normal. My eldest son even smiled when his cousin told a joke. After lunch, while the younger kids napped and the older ones played video games, Donald and I sorted through more evidence. The second phone taunted me from the coffee table. "Try birthdays," Donald suggested. I entered various combinations. Nothing worked. Then on a hunch, I tried the date she'd first mentioned wanting a vacation. The phone unlocked. My stomach dropped. Text after text filled the screen conversations with Janet about leaving me, messages to a lawyer about custody arrangements, photos of bruises I didn't cause, screenshots of bank accounts I didn't know existed. "Donald?" My voice cracked. He read over my shoulder, his expression growing darker with each message. "She's been planning this for 6 months minimum." One thread caught my eye messages to someone named Robert. Flirty texts, meeting arrangements, photos that made my chest tight. "Who's Robert?" Donald asked. I scrolled up, found my answer. Her personal trainer, the one she insisted she needed for her mental health. The text went back 8 months before she'd started acting strange, before the locked phones and mysterious absences. This wasn't a reaction to our problems, this was the cause. My phone rang, my mother. "Honey, I just got the strangest call from your wife. She says you kicked her out, that you're keeping the children from her." I put her on speaker. "Mom, she left, went on vacation after I refused to cancel visiting Donald." She's crying, says you changed the locks and drained the bank accounts. Donald grabbed the phone. Mom, it's me. I'm here with him. She left Friday morning while he was asleep. Door was unlocked when I arrived Saturday. He moved money to protect it after she made unauthorized purchases. Silence. Then why would she lie to me? Mom, has she contacted you before about our marriage? A few times. Said you were controlling, that you wouldn't let her work or have friends. A pause. I defended you, but she was very convincing. My throat tightened. How many people had she told these lies to? How long had she been building this narrative? After I hung up, I sat in silence. Donald ordered pizza for dinner. The kids cheered when it arrived, acting like it was a special treat instead of a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. My eldest son sat beside me during dinner. Dad, are you and Mom getting divorced? The table went quiet. Even the younger kids paused mid-bite. I don't know, buddy. Maybe. Donald's kids filled the silence with chatter about school and games. My children slowly joined in, but I caught them glancing at me throughout the meal. After dinner, while Donald supervised bath time for the younger kids, I called my credit card companies. 2 cards I didn't know about had been opened in my name. Both maxed out, thousands in debt I didn't create. My hands shook as I disputed the charges and requested fraud investigations. The representative was kind but clear, proving I didn't open the accounts would be difficult. By the time all the kids were in bed, I felt hollow. Donald and I sat on the back porch, beers in hand, dogs at our feet. What do? I asked the darkness. You protect yourself and those kids. Document everything. Get a lawyer as soon as possible. He took a long drink. And you stop blaming yourself for not seeing it sooner. How did I miss this? 17 years, Donald. How do you hide this kind of betrayal for 17 years? You didn't miss it. You trusted your wife. That's what you're supposed to do. My phone lit up. Another text from Janet. She's filing for emergency custody Monday. Says you're unstable and the kids aren't safe. Thought you should have warning. I showed Donald. He immediately started typing on his phone. What are you doing? Texting our cousin, the lawyer. He owes me a favor. I can't afford. Yes, you can, because you can't afford not to have representation when she files. He finished typing and looked at me. She fired the first shot months ago. Time to defend yourself. I nodded, feeling something harden in my chest. My wife had left our children to vacation with her affair partner while spreading lies about me. She'd stolen money, destroyed documents, and built a false narrative of abuse. But she'd made one mistake. She'd left the kids with me, and I'd document every moment of care, every meal cooked, every homework session supervised, every bedtime story read. The stars looked cold above us. Somewhere out there, my wife was probably laughing with Robert, planning her next move in this sick game. I pulled out the notebook again and wrote, Day 2 without her. House is peaceful. Brother here for support. She's telling lies to everyone who will listen. I'm done pretending this marriage isn't over. Tomorrow I'll face the school principal, call more banks, and try to untangle the web of lies she's woven. But tonight, I sat with my brother on my back porch, my children safe in their beds, and felt something I hadn't experienced in months, hope.